Yeah, what is up, GPC fans? Schady here. Or not, that sounds weird. What's up, interweb? RhyQuinn here, and welcome to my GPC Season 5 Week 5 game against Schady and the Bayern Munich. Oh man, this was not a game I was looking forward to. I kinda was, kinda wasn't, because Shady's a good friend of mine from the PPL. Both of us started in PPL Season 1, and we both kind of carried on since then. Really good friend, he's a great battler as well. And he had a very spooky draft, so I wasn't particularly looking forward to this game. But then I came up with some memes, and I was like, you know what, I'm kind of looking forward to this game now. I just want to see if my memes could work. But before I get into the match today, if you haven't checked out Shady's channel, you really should. Links are down below in the description to Schady. His Twitter and his YouTube are going to be down there. Make sure to check him out because, like I said, he's a really good friend of mine, and he's a great battler. He gives some really good insight into his battles as well. Like his team builders, he gives you exactly the reason why he's bringing things, and it's very well justified every time. You know, in the battles, he gives you all possible scenarios of what he was thinking and possible outcomes of what he could go for and things like that. If you want to become a better battler, watch Schady. He's a good guy to learn from. So yeah, go do that. Now, let's get into this match. If you don't know the teams that could potentially be brought, my potential team that I could bring to this game, Nidoqueen's Puck Rangers, is Kieran Black, Gengar, Vaporeon, Mega Pidgeot, Hitmontop, Ferrothorn, Thundurus Incarnate, Uxie, and Coughing. And Schady and his Bayern Mewnich could potentially have brought Jirachi, Salamence, Keldeo, Mega Diantha, Golurk, Miltank, Amoonguss, Skuntank, Ludicolo, Frostlass, and Torkoal. And he has actually elected to bring, out of those mons, he has elected to bring the Keldeo, the Jirachi, the Skuntank, the Salamence, the Frostlass, and the Mega Diantha. But bear in mind, in GPC rules, you have no obligation to Mega at any point in the battle. You don't have to Mega at any point, so he could just stay bulky and not Mega, or he could Mega up and become an offensive threat. So Mega Diantha, especially in the GPC, is much more threatening than you know, potential in other leagues where you have to Mega first turn, because although Mega Diantha is a scary threat, in other leagues it loses quite a lot of its bulk when it Megas. Doesn't have that problem in GPC. You can have it bulky, and then when you need it to be the offensive threat, you can Mega up, so it's pretty damn spooky. But if you watched my team builder video, which also there'll be in the link in the description to that one as well, so you can go check that out if you want to see why I brought what sets I'm bringing to this game. If you're like, why did you bring such memes? Then you can go check out my video where I explain in full detail why I brought what I brought. But if you did watch my team builder video, you'd know that I was expecting him to bring a Scarfed Switcheroo Frostlass. And I see Frostlass and I'm thinking, Scarf Switcheroo. He's brought the Scarf set, hasn't he? Is my prediction correct? I think he's going to bring Scarf Switcheroo Frostlass. That's what I was expecting anyway. Keldeo, I really wasn't sure what it was going to be, but I know I have a meme for that one. Jirachi I was kind of worried about, but I was thinking it's more likely going to be a defensive set. Skuntank I really wasn't sure. It could potentially be his hazard removal for this week. I really wasn't sure what Skuntank was going to do. Other than maybe potentially try and Pursuit Trap my Gengar or something like that. I didn't really know. Obviously I haven't brought Gengar, but I was thinking maybe that was what it was for. Maybe just to try and wall break Uxie a little bit. I wasn't sure really what Skuntank could be. Salamence, I wasn't sure honestly, because he could be a very potent Scarfer, I feel, for my team. Scarf would make a lot of sense. To try and, you know, outspeed the likes of maybe a Scarf Kieran Black or something like that. It could potentially be DD setup. I really wasn't sure what to expect when I got into the game. Frostlass, as I said, I was expecting to be that Scarf Switcheroo set. And the Diantha, I had no idea, because it could be regular Diantha, it could be Mega. Well, obviously it has to have its Mega Stone, of course, but it's gonna be no bueno if I can't figure out what set that is in time. It can do a lot of damage to my team before I realise what it's doing, so was pretty spooked going into this. Quickly going over my team though, I do have my Mega Pidgeot, which is fairly standard but has workup. I have my offensive Vaporeon. I have my mixed defensive Uxie. I have my sub-nasty plot Thundurus. I have my Assault Vest Hitmontop, and I have the Lord himself, Coughing. Physically defensive, made to stop physical attackers. In this case, it's looking like he's going to have to stop Salamence. So let's see if we can do this. Without further ado, let's get into this match and let's see how things go. So, I'm going to lead off with my Thundurus. I wanted to see what he was going to lead with. I'm going to lead with Incarnate, and he does lead with his Frostlass. I'm going to scout it out, see if it's the Scarf set. I'm going to go for Substitute, as he's going to go for the Ice Beam. That obviously doesn't tell me anything because I have Prankster, so I get some lefties back, and I'm going to switch one out. And I'm going to go into my Hitmontop. Seeing if he goes for another Ice Beam. He does go for another Ice Beam. Might still be Scarfed. Might still be that set. Now I'm just going to go for a Bullet Punch, hoping he was potentially going to stay in. If he wanted to go for like a Shadow Ball or something, if he wasn't Scarfed. Fortunately, he does switch in the Salamence. He's going to get an Intimidate off, and it's going to do absolutely nothing. Now he's going to go switch on out into his Jirachi as I pull a switch out into my Coughing. As I said, that's my dedicated stop to my Salamence. He's going to go for a Toxic, expecting the switch. No, I go for a Willow, but I miss! Oh, it would have been so good to burn Jirachi. Coughing almost did a thing there, but not quite. He's going to go for Iron Head, and he's going to flinch me. And I'm like, okay, I can take one more. Don't flinch me, I just want to burn this Jirachi, and I flinch again. Now I'm going to switch out because my Coughing's getting really worn down. I'm going to go out into my Vaporeon. And I want to see what kind of Jirachi this is. It's not doing very much with this Iron Head, so I'm thinking it might be a bulky one. Now, my moveset here, I'm offensive with Mystic Water, and I have Surf. I was debating between Surf and Hydro Pump. So let's see what we do. He's going to go for the Toxic, thinking I'm a bulky Vaporeon. No, I'm going to go for Surf, and I only do 31%, and that is very disappointing, because this is a specially defensive Jirachi. And that's quite annoying. It makes sense. I completely get why he's a specially defensive Jirachi, but I realize now, looking at my team, man, I have nothing to take down a Jirachi. Like, holy damn, especially if this thing has Wish, which I really think it's going to. Man, this is going to be really, really hard to take down. So, I realized that when I was team building, but I kind of got caught up in memes, and I really haven't brought many things to do with Jirachi, so I'm going to have to try and play around it. So, now at this point, seeing my Surf do not that much, I'm going to switch up my Vaporeon. I'm going to go into Uxie because I want to get rid of that poison as soon as I can, and I have Heal Bell, and as he does reveal the Wish, I'm like, okay, this is going to be hard to take down, but let's see if we can do it. He's going to go for Toxic on my Uxie as I'm going to reveal my... I'm going to go for Rocks first. Sorry, going to go for Rocks first. Thinking that he might go for a Toxic or something like that. I'm fine with that, whatever. Wanted to get out my Rocks to hinder that Salamence, which would be great, and the Frostlass. Now he's going to go for Iron Head, get a crit, but no flinch, and I'm going to get off my Heal Bell. Poison is gone on this thing. Poison is gone on my Vaporeon, and that makes me very, very happy. He's going to go for a Toxic, and he's going to miss on that turn, which is fantastic, as I'm going to get off a U-turn, and I'm going to be able to go on out into my Thunderous. Hoping I could potentially scare this guy out a little bit. Maybe he's fearing a Dark Pulse, something like that. And he is going to switch out, and he's going to go on out into his Skuntank, as I'm going to set up a substitute. Now, I did not want to go for an Articuno here, thinking he might have the Sucker Punch. There's not much point. So I'm just going to fire off a Thunderbolt, and it only does 31%. This is an Assault Vest Skuntank. He's going to go for a Crunch, break my sub. Now I'm expecting him to go for Pursuit, expecting my switch. So I'm going to stay in and fire off another Thunderbolt. Get off 32%, and that's exactly what he does, goes for Pursuit. Now I risked him not having the Sucker Punch because at this point I'd seen he'd revealed the Crunch and the Pursuit. I didn't think he'd have Sucker Punch as well. I was thinking he'd more likely have some other moves, thinking, at this point he might have just been specially defensive. I should have realized without Black Sludge he was most likely Assault Vest, but I was thinking he might just be specially defensive and have Defog and stuff like that. So I wasn't thinking he was going to have Sucker Punch at this point, so I risked him not having Sucker Punch, and I'm just going to stay in and go for another Thunderbolt, because I didn't really want to run the risk of setting up a substitute, him going for Crunch and, all that stuff. Potentially could have got away with this up here, but I'm just going to go for T-Bot and going to knock him out. He did actually have Sucker Punch, but he didn't go for the Crunch on that turn, expecting my sub, so that worked out pretty well for me. Now he's going to go into the Frostlass. Okay, so all I've been saying up to this point was I was expecting him to be a Scarf Frostlass with Switcheroo. That is what I expect. That's what I expected in my team builder. That's what I expected when I got into the match. So at this point, I have no idea, and to this day I will never know, and I can never justify why I stayed in here. Because he goes for Ice Beam and he kills him with Thunderous. I knew that was coming. I saw the Scarf. I said he was going to be Scarfed, and did nothing about it. I have no idea why I stayed in there. Absolutely no idea. I can't remember what my thought process was. I can't justify why I stayed in there, because I predicted his set correctly. Everything was pointing to him being the Scarf Switcheroo set, and now my Thunderous is dead because I didn't switch. Why didn't I switch? I don't know. I don't know. So save your comments, because I know there's going to be a lot of them like, why didn't I switch? I don't know, okay? I just don't know why I didn't switch. Could have gone into Vaporeon, got a free switch in, and fired off a big hit against something. That would have been nice. Now I'm going to go into the Vaporeon a turn too late, as he's going to switch out his Frostlass, go into his Jirachi again, and it's not going to do that much. I am going to fire off a Wish, though, because I want to Wish into my Uxie, because it was getting pretty worn down, but he's just going to fire off a Toxic. I'm going to go for a Surf. and do 35% to him, which is really not doing that much. But I'm going to get the wish back to full though, which is pretty nice. And now he's going to fire off a wish as I go for another surf, 35%. With lefties goes back to 40. I need a crit. I don't think I have enough of a roll on me to kill him. He's going to go for the Iron Head. He's not going to flinch me, and I don't get a crit. I was just banking on the crit at this point, because basically that's what I'm going to need to take down this Jirachi. I'm going to need some luck, because it's bad purple on my part that I don't have many things to take down a Jirachi. Now I'm going to switch out because my Vaporeon's getting worn down. I'm going to go into Uxie again. Same old song and dance. I want to go for the heal bell and get off that poison that he has on there. He's just going to go for the Iron Head at this point, knowing that I'm probably going to go for heal bell. No flinch that time, which is fantastic. Gonna get off the heal bell, and the poison is gone from Vaporeon. And if I can get a wish back on it, Vaporeon's looking pretty decent. Now he's gonna go for the Toxic on my Uxie again, as I'm gonna go for the U-turn. Same old song and dance once again. And now I'm gonna switch on out into my Mega Pidgeot, because I want to see how much a Heat Wave will do. But he is not gonna let his Jirachi take that much damage. He's gonna go on out into his Diantha, and I'm gonna Mega Up, and I'm gonna click the Heat Wave button. Only does 11%. Now this tells me he is specially defensive Diantha. Now, at this point, I maybe kind of sort of a little bit forgot that you don't have to Mega first turn. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click my Hidden Power Steel that I have on my Mega Pidgeot, specifically for Mega Diantha. And I was thinking, this is a roll to kill him. If he Megas up right here, this is a roll to kill him. I forgot that you don't have to Mega. I'm going to click HP Steel, and it does 56% because he still has a lot of bulk. But luckily, he's going to go for Rocks and not Diamond Storm, because that would have been bad. But it does mean that those Rocks are up, and I'm going to have to try and spin them with Hitmontop if I can. But now I'm going to switch out my Mega Pidgeot, because at that point, because at that point, I'll explain my thought process here. I didn't want to go for the HP Steel, giving basically anything a free switch in, if I'm honest. And I was half expecting the switch out here into something else. I wanted to go for Hurricane. I didn't want to risk the roll, so I went out into my Coughing, potentially expecting the Salamence, because the Salamence are coming against Mega Pidge. Would have been bad if it was like a Scarf set. I don't know, but whatever. I switch out into Coughing here on the Mega Diantha, expecting something. Diamond Storm does basically nothing. He does get the defense increase there, but now he's able to Mega Up in my Coughing's face. Now he's going to go for the Diamond Storm, and a subsequent one is going to knock him out with the added power that he just has. And now I've lost my stop to Salamence. And I did not mean to do that. I kind of sort of forgot that Salamence existed. Now my Coughing's down, and I don't really have a way to stop it, and that's no fun. But now I'm going to bring back in my Mega Pidgeot, which I should have done in the first place. Going to click the Hurricane, and this isn't a roll anymore with the oh, sorry, it is a roll, but I think min roll was like 20.5%, so I'd have been very unlucky if I didn't get that roll on the Hurricane and killed him off there. Now in comes the Frostlass again. I know it's Scarfed at this point, so I'm going to switch on out. I'm going to go into my Hitmontop, because if he tricks me a Scarf or something, or if he switcheroos me a Scarf, I'm okay with that. He just goes for the Ice Beam, only doing 20% because I am Specially Defensive Assault Vest. I'm okay with that. And he's going to bring in his Salamence on me here. So I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin, get the rocks away. Now, here's where things take a little bit of a turn for the worse, you might say. Salamence goes for a Dragon Dance. Oh boy, I don't have anything for this. He's going to go for the Dragon Claw, but I live. It's a bulky Salamence with no attack investment. Hurricane doesn't kill him, though. Oh, my god. Okay, so the Dragon Claw came in. It doesn't kill me. I go for the Hurricane. He lives on a little bit. I think neither of those were rolls. Both of us got a fairly decent roll on that turn. I don't think either of those attacks were rolls, so we just kind of both live there. Because he's a bulky Salamence with no attack investment, it means I live that Dragon Claw, which is quite nice, but he's still going to outspeed me, and he's going to do it here. Now, this is probably the most pivotal play in the game at this point. So because he's a bulky Mence, my Uxie can still potentially take a couple hits, because he has no attack investment, even though he's +1. Now, I was thinking at this point that most likely what he'd have is Dragon Dance. He's going to have some kind of fire move for my Ferrothorn, maybe something like Fire Fang, which he actually didn't end up having. Dragon Claw, obviously, like he's revealed. His last move I wasn't too sure on, but I was thinking it might be something to hit something a little bit harder, maybe like the Uxie. He might have something to hit, I can't even remember my entire potential squad now, that's bad. He might have like some kind of move to hit the Hitmontop a bit harder because of Intimidate or whatever. You know, things like that. He might have some other kind of coverage move, and I realize at this point, if I lose Mega Pidgeot, I lose this match, because I can't take down Jirachi. If Mega Pidgeot goes down, I cannot take down Jirachi. Jirachi will be able to storm me out, flinch everything to death. I lose this game if Mega Pidgeot dies right now. So my only hope, basically, is to go out into Uxie, hope this Salamence doesn't have Roost, and pick him off with a Psychic. That's literally my only hope right now, because if I stay in, Mega Pidgeot dies, then it means that I lose this game right now. I lose this game straight up right now. If Mega Pidgeot dies, I lose. So I'm going to go on out into my Uxie, see if I can take hits and pick off this Salamence with the Psychic and just hope that it doesn't have Roost, essentially. So I'm going to go out into my Uxie, and he is going to go for the Dragon Claw. I'm going to take that. Unfortunately, it's a roll whether the next one will kill me or not. Not 100% sure on it, but he's going to go for the Roost. And I'm going to go for the Psychic, because not doing enough. Uh-oh, this Salamence is going to do my head in. Also, fun fact, I was debating a Quick Attack on my Mega Pidgeot, and that would have been nice, wouldn't it, to pick off the Salamence when it was at 4%. And I would have been able to kill the Salamence, and my Mega Pidgeot would have lived, and that would have been great, but I put on Work Up instead for reasons. Anyway, now Uxie's in, he's going to go for Roost, because, you know, why wouldn't he? I'm going to go for the U-turn at this point, and I'm going to go on out into my Hitmontop, get an Intimidate off so he's not as immediately threatening. Now I'm predicting another Roost, so I'm going to go for a close combat, get as much damage as I can. Exactly what I do. I only do 41% though, because like I said, this is bulky Ments. Now he's just going to... I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch, hoping he was going to attack me, but no, he's just going to Roost again. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. I'm just kind of playing until I don't know how to deal with the Salamence anymore. He's going to go for a Dragon Dance as I switch into my Uxie. I can't take a hit anymore. This is no bueno. And he's just going to go for another Dragon Dance, knowing I literally cannot touch him. Wish I had Yawn at this point, but I don't. Psychic not doing enough damage, hoping for like a Spadef drop or something, I don't know. And he's just going to go for Dragon Claw, knock out my Uxie. And this is basically it. I don't have anything to take a hit anymore. Going to go on out, get an Intimidate off on him, but it's not going to be enough. Dragon Claw is going to come in and kill me anyway. And then everything else just kind of dies at this point. Mega Pidgeot's going to come in, get outsped, die to Salamence Dragon Claw, and then last but not least is my Vaporeon, which is just going to get outsped and die to this Dragon Claw, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the game, and that is a Salamence sweep for Schady at the Bayern Mewnich, taking a 4-0 loss this week against Schady. And this match, I prepped badly and I played badly. Those are two very, very obvious facts looking at this game. Very obvious that I prepped badly and played badly. I realised when I was team building, I almost talked about this earlier, but I'll come on to it in more detail now, is I knew initially when my offense was going to be Mega Pidgeot and Thundurus Incarnate, and Vaporeon potentially, I knew that I was going to struggle to take down Jirachi, and I thought to myself I should really put Gengar on this team, because it would deal with Jirachi so much better than anything else will. It does the most damage out of anything I could possibly bring on my squad, so I should really bring Gengar. And then I got too caught up in memes. I wanted to bring Coughing, because it stopped Salamence, even though I have other ones that could stop Salamence anyway. I wanted to bring the Coughing for meme's sake, and I wanted to bring my Synchronoise Vaporeon for meme's sake. And also, he brought Keldeo, and that would have been nice, because to, like, destroy Keldeo with a Synchronoise, that would have been beautiful. He said he wasn't expecting it, so, you know, that was fun. But he didn't bring in Keldeo for the whole game, so didn't get a chance to use Synchronize against it, unfortunately. Would have been memey and fun, but, you know, whatever. So I just got too distracted with memes and stuff. Jirachi was an absolute pain to take down, and I played poorly against Mega Diantha as well. Should have just killed it when I had the chance. And I just lost against that. The combination of Jirachi being too bulky for my team to take down, and me playing poorly against the Mega Diantha and losing my Coughing, which was my only way to stop a setup Salamence. Speaking of which, by the way, a +1 max attack Dragon Claw from a Salamence would have done less than half, and he had no attack investment. I would have absolutely chewed a +1 Dragon Claw, and then I could have burned him, I could have clear smogged him to get rid of his stat boost. I could have done a lot of things. It turns out he was Lumberry on his Salamence, but if my Coughing was pretty healthy, like if I'd have wished into it or, you know, something like that, then I could have really shut down that Salamence really quickly, because like double Will-O-Wisp, I could have taken 2 Dragon Claws no problem. I could double Will-O-Wisp him and he'd be burned. I could, as I said, clear smog him to get rid of all his stat boosts, and then he's not as threatening anymore. But I let my Coughing go down, and that cost me. Who'd have thought that me letting my meme pick go down would have cost me so severely in this game. But it was very well prepped on Shady's part. I'm really upset that I called that Scarfed switcheroo Frostlass and did nothing about it. I'm really upset about my plays around that. So it's just a combination of bad prep, bad play, and I come away with a 4-0 loss in this one. Absolutely deserved the loss in this one. There's no way that Schady should have lost this one in any way, shape, or form. He prepped well, played well. I prepped badly, played badly, so that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. But once again, that's a 4-0 loss for this week, week 5. Next week, we're playing the Crawthorn Crabhammers, I believe, and their team is ridiculous. It has a Mega Latias, and I don't like it, but that's going to be next week, week 6 of the GPC. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like in the video. Go down in the description, check out links to Schady once again. It's really worth your time, so please do go check him out. If you do enjoy my content, you can, of course, subscribe as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys sometime soon. Toodaloo.